Hi friends, hello. Welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSE Optional. India's largest online learning platform, Unacademy. From Unacademy, you will be getting daily live classes, live tests, quizzes, structured courses, unlimited access to course material and videos on UPSC prelims and mains. Download Unacademy Learning app, get daily live classes. This is Kiran Anishetti, faculty for Public Administration, Political Science, Polity, Issues in Governance and Ethics. I have done my MBA from Manu University. I have done my MA, Public Administration and Political Science, about to complete my LLB. But UGC net qualified in both the subjects, Public Administration as well as Political Science. Attempted civils, prelims with Public Administration optional 7 times. 4 times I took civils mains with Public Administration as my first optional. Each time scoring around between 55 to 60% in my first optional, that is Public Administration. I have more than 10 years of teaching experience in UPSC. I have taught in Telangana Government ST IAS Study Circle Hyderabad, Telangana Government Minority IAS Study Circle Hyderabad, Super 60 IAS Academy Hyderabad, Narayana IAS Academy Hyderabad, Challengers IAS Academy Hyderabad, and in India IAS Academy Hyderabad. If you have any doubts or do you want any clarifications for me, you can contact me on my Telegram channel, that is Unacademy _ Kiran Anishetti. Today we are going to discuss e-governance, which is very important from public administration optional point of view, issues in governance from ethics point of view, and even from general essay point. When prepared with the top 100 educators of Unacademy such as Runal Patel, Roman Saini, Sudarshan Gujjar, etc. Unacademy will be covering UPSC syllabus comprehensively, such as polity, governance, international relations, history, current affairs, economy, general essay, optional courses, writing practice, science and technology, etc. Unacademy is offering plus subscription under which the aspirant will be getting daily live classes, a series, unlimited practice, structured schedule. For 12 months, it is 44,000. If you use my promo code, you will be getting at 39,600. 24 months, it is 64,000. If you use my promo code, you will be getting at 57,600. Unacademy has come up recently with iconic pattern of subscription in which the aspirant will be getting daily live classes, test series, limited practice, structured schedule, personal mentorship, which is very essential and important for aspirant, UPSC aspirant, to know the intricacies of the exam. If you use my promo code, that is capital KIRAN, for 12 months it is 64,000, you will be getting at 57,000. 10% discount you will get. Use my promo code. The same way, for 24 months it is 99,000. If you use my promo code, you will be getting at 89,100. Apart from 10% discount, if you use my promo code, you will be getting my personal mentorship with regard to public administration optional, political science optional, general studies paper, Two, that is polity, issues in governance and international relations. General studies paper, that is. Apart from that, most of the issues related to general essay also I will be guiding. In addition to me, Unacademy will assign a team of expert educators who will be guiding you in their respective subjects. Daily questions on mains you will get, study planner, personal feedback. We will be evaluating your answer scripts and we will be giving our comments on the answers that you write. Just a minute. Just a minute. Hence, I strongly recommend for iconic subscription, which will be immensely beneficial to the aspirant. E-governance. Before going into the details of e-governance, we will discuss what does government mean. Government in general parlance it means the institutions through which sovereign authority of the state is exercised. Government refers to the institutions through which the sovereign authority of the state is exercised, like district collectorate, state secretariat, chief minister's office, prime minister's office, cabinet secretariat, central secretariat, etc. Governance refers to the processes and activities of governmental institutions which seek to coordinate and control social life. The processes and activities of governmental institutions such as land order administration, revenue administration, defense, paramilitary forces, tax collection. These processes and activities of the governmental institutions which seek to coordinate and control social life, that is referred as governance. E-governance refers to application of information and communication technology to governmental processes and activity to improve efficacy. Application of information and communication technology to governmental processes and activities to improve the efficacy. For instance, earlier in my childhood, we used to stand in long queues to pay electricity bill. Now, with the application of information technology, we can pay electricity bill by our through our mobile phone. A few years ago, we used to go to e-seva or ma seva. There we used to pay electricity. Now, just through phone pay, you can pay it. is e-government. Earlier, in order to get driving licenses, we had to approach the broker, then we had to wet the hands of the broker and the officials. Then we used to get that. Now, online, you will get the slot and you will get the license. This is also one of the applications of e-government. Earlier, in order to get passport, we had to go approach the brokers. We have to pillar to post to get our passport. But now, just by applying online, you will get passport slot. All these are instances of e-government. This application of information and communication technology to governmental processes and activities to improve the efficacy of governmental to improve efficacy of governmental institutions. E-governance improves citizen administration interface. When citizen doesn't get the fields, when it takes long time to address the problems of citizen, invariably citizen entertains grievance against the government. But e-governance, by solving the problems of citizen in short span of time, improves citizen administration interface. When we study in long queues in front of electricity office, we get disgusted with governmental institution. We may shout on the electricity personnel, but by paying electricity bill to mobile phone, our grievance is redressed. This is how. There will not be any need on the part of the citizen to go to electricity office, stand in the sultry sun for long hours. All such hardships on the part of the citizen can be reduced. In the same way, going to passport office, running from pillar to post to get passport, the same way with regard to driving license. In recent years, central government has introduced e-governance initiatives in pension office. Earlier, in order to get pension dues, citizens had to run from pillar to post. It used to take years together. One of my friends who used to prepare with me in civil services, his mother was government teacher. She retired. By the time she got her pension dues, 2 to 3 my UPSC attempts exhausted. That means it took around 3 years to get her pension dues, even after bribing the pension official. Even after bribing pension official. But now, the introduction of e-governance techniques in pension offices by the central government, now the retired employees, the PF holders, they are getting their pension dues within short span of time. This is how e-governance improves citizen administration in citizen administration. UN Committee of Experts on Public Administration in its session in July 2002, UN Committee of Experts on Public Administration in its session in July 2002 discussed the capacity of public sector to support the creation and application of knowledge, innovation, technology for development. UN Committee of Experts on Public Administration in its session in July 2002 discussed the capacity of public sector to support, to create the knowledge, to apply the knowledge that has been gained by public agencies, and how to foster innovation, how to improve technology for development, like how to use satellite and meteorological technology to mitigate disastrous effects of natural disasters, like the way the central and state governments prevented huge disaster that was going to be heaped upon people on the account of Katrina cyclone, Hudud cyclone, etc. In recent time, the development of satellite technology and meteorological technology, even third world countries could prevent massive disaster. They may not be able to prevent the occurrence of the massive natural disasters. They could certainly mitigate the disastrous effects of these disasters. This is how the expert committee of UN on public administration in its session discussed. This point will be very, very pertinent in the exam. If you produce this particular point in your answer with regard to the question on e-governance, you will get very good marks. In public administration, always remember, friends, writing practice is very, very important. Writing practice is very, very important. For instance, today you are listening to session on e-governance. Then immediately put something on paper. Try to practice. The public sector organizations should become learning organizations. This particular statement has tremendous connotation. Public sector organizations should become learning organizations. Learning organizations. Why this particular point has been mooted by the expert committee of UN on public administration? You remember, one of the major criticisms against bureaucracy is that bureaucracy never learns from its mistake. Bureaucracy never adapts itself to the changes in socio economic and political scenario. Bureaucracy never acclimatizes itself to the changing environment. Terrorists use sophisticated weapons. but our police force use 303 rifle. The cybercrime perpetrators use sophisticated technology, but our security forces unable to cope with such cybercrime. There are more and more demands on the part of the citizen for effective administration, for effective implementation of developmental and welfareistic programs. But we never, we, the bureaucracy never adapts itself to these changes. For example, best example, you take railways. 30 years ago, the speed of the train used to be like that. Even now, the speed of the train is the same. The quality of food that is served, everything is stagnant. Never learning from its past mistakes, able to acclimatize itself to the changes in the environment. Yes. This expert committee says public sector organizations should become learning organizations. They should become learning organizations. Capacity building of public organizations require harnessing information and communication technology. In order to build the capacity of public organizations as a district collectorate, CMO, state secretariat, I to take all these institutions even to enhance the efficacy of village panchayat. We need to harness information and communication technology. That's why our Prime Minister always emphasizes upon connecting of village panchayats to fiber through fiber net. And during this corona pandemic time, we could address the village sarpants. Prime Minister could now Prime Minister can directly interact with the village sarpants across the country. In the context of new national education policy, the Prime Minister spoke with education ministers of all the states in order to inculcate skills, knowledge, education amongst rural youth and rural children. We can use this information and technology. Through online classes, we can impart skills and knowledge amongst the poor children in rural areas. This is how capacity building of public organizations require harnessing information and communication technology. Harnessing information and communication technology. Now we will discuss in a nutshell objectives of e-government. improved service delivery, better services, more convenient, more reliable, and low cost services. Improved service delivery in a faster pace, services can be delivered. Better services when the pension dues are given in proper time, it will be immensely beneficial to the pensioner. Better services, more convenient. You need not to go to the offices. You need not to stand in long queues. More reliable. The information that you get on online now, farmers are going to get the information about the prices of their farm produce through e-governance initiatives. Now they can sell their produce anywhere in the country. Online, they will get the information. Low cost. The cost will be reduced. Improved service delivery, better services, more convenient and more reliable, and low cost. Greater participation of the citizens in governmental. Greater participation of the citizen in governmental affairs. They can participate. For instance, Prime Minister or Chief Minister directly address Grama Sabha. Grama Sabha consists of all the registered voters of the village. Hence, all the registered voters of the village are directly conveying their grievances, needs, and problems with Chief Minister or District Collector or Prime Minister. This is how it facilitates greater participation of the citizen in governmental affairs. Even Parliament sometimes it publishes notification in famous news dailies with regard to the passage of important bills in Parliament. Wants to elicit the opinion of people about that particular bill. Hence, the voter can express his opinion about the bill that is going to be passed in Parliament. Yes. Through the portal, Parliament portal, the citizen is participating in the process of legislation at national level. This is how e-governance facilitates greater participation of the citizen in governmental affairs. Low transaction cost. I'm extremely sorry, my head made a mistake while typing it. Low transaction cost. Low transaction cost. You need not to go to passport office. You need not to bribe the bicholis, the brokers. You need not to bribe the petty officials at lower rung of administrative system like peons, the attendants, etc. This is how e-governance aims at low transaction, full in building trust between government and citizen. This is very, very important. When e-governance initiatives are implemented at the top echelons of the government, definitely confidence of citizen in government will be enhanced. For instance, when we used to prepare for civil services in late 2000, 2007, 2008, 2009, it was those times for the first time the concept of e-governance was inculcated in the syllabus of public administration. Of course, later on in 2013, it has been incorporated in even in GS. At that time, one of the even before 2014, one of the major criticisms against e-governance initiatives. This criticism was discussed in Indian Institute of Public Administration, New Delhi, the nodal agency for administrative reforms. Criticism is that e-governance initiatives are implemented at lower echelons of administrative apparatus. Lower echelons of administrative apparatus. For instance, to get driving license, to get our vehicle registered, to get passport, to pay electricity bill, to pay telephone bill. At these lower levels of governance, e-governance initiatives used to be enforced. This was the major criticism against e-governance. But after 2014, Modi government used for the first time an emphatic time, I can say, for the first time, Modi government used the e-governance initiatives at top echelons of government. Is at allocation of coal mine blocks. With regard to coal mine blocks, e-governance initiatives have been used. Even Controller and Auditor General of India admitted that Government of India got more revenue that was expected by e-auctioning of coal mine blocks. When you e-auction, there will not be any role for brokers. Earlier, government deals, government contracts, 2G spectrum, 4G spectrum, all these Gs used to be done in 5-star, 7-star hotels in the evening, in the night, or in golf clubs, or in fancy farmhouses. Now they are done through e-governance. Lakhs, crores of rupees of taxpayer have been saved. That's what Subramanian Swamy says, Rajya Sabha member from BJP party. You abolish income tax. At the most, from income tax, direct taxes, you will be getting 4 lakhs crores of rupees per annum. But if you go for honest auctioning of natural resources like 5G spectrum, 6G spectrum, coal mine blocks, other blocks, without committing any scam by top government or public servants such as cabinet ministers or by top bureaucrats. If union cabinet ministers do not commit any corruption, invariably the administrators will also not commit any corruption. Lakhs of crores of rupees will automatically be saved. Then you need not to impose income tax. This is how e-governance will be very helpful in building trust between the government and citizens. E-governance provides better access to governmental institutions, governmental information through digitalization of governmental records, through providing the information of governmental institutions on portals of the respective government offices or ministries. This is how e-governance provides better access to people about governmental institutions, governmental information. Making government more accountable by making the operations more transparent. When operations of the government are made transparent, the government will be more accountable. Like you go for, as we have just discussed, e-auctioning of governmental tenders. This is how government will be made more accountable. The state governments, especially the state governments run by regional parties, have to learn from central government, the union government, how to utilize, how to implement e-governance initiatives at the top echelons of the governance, like e-auctioning major irrigation projects, e-auctioning of major infrastructure projects, etc. Enhanced control of fraud and reduction of corruption. Earlier, we used to get this scenario. The brokers used to be rampant in the vicinities of road transport authorities, this passport authorities, registration offices, etc. To be rampant. But with the introduction of e-governance initiatives, there is major control of fraud and reduction of corruption, providing wider development opportunities, especially benefiting the rural and traditionally underserved communities and marginalized sections of the society, providing wider development opportunities, especially benefiting the rural and traditionally underserved communities. As we have just discussed at the beginning of the session, all the village panchayats in the country are well connected with fiber net, underground net connection. Even Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep are going to be well connected internet connection to fiber net. For instance, all village panchayats are well connected with internet, then we can disseminate quality educational and health services. We can teach mathematics, communication skills, biological sciences, social sciences to the students of rural poor through these e-governance techniques. We can also provide for online consultation, medical consultation. will be a little bit a difficult thing because in most of the instances, medical diagnosis by the doctor requires physical uh, diagnosis. When doctor physically diagnoses the patient, when he physically touches the body, then only he comes to know about the intricacies of the disease. Of course, despite of that, some kind of relief can be provided. That we have seen during corona pandemic time, even people in urban areas, metropolitan areas, they are consulting doctors on online. Recently, I have consulted my family physician online services. Hence, by e-governance, the rural poor, the traditionally underserved communities, the marginalized of the society can be served. They can be served. E-governance can challenge the existing ways of doing work. E-governance can challenge the existing ways of doing work. Earlier, we used to maintain physical records. There used to be delay in government process. In our school days, in order to get caste certificate, income certificate, residence certificate, we had to go to Mandal office, revenue office, Mandal revenue office. We had to plead or attend as the petty government personnel. We had to bribe. All this hangama used to happen. It used to take somewhere around 15 to 20 days, 1 month also. To get the certificates in faster manner, we had to bribe. But e-governance changes, it challenges the existing ways of doing work. Today you file the application, you submit the necessary documents, you will get your certificate within 24 hours like that. To create a climate of organizational reform, e-governance techniques, they create the climate of organizational, as we have discussed, auctioning of coal mine blocks. We never assumed that would happen in our lifetime. When I used to prepare for civil service, when I used to study about e-governance, I never dreamt that at the top echelons of governance, e-governance procedures would be used somewhere in near future. Great breakthrough in administrative reforms. Major break. Generally, these reforms are aimed at petty officials. The officials like peons, revenue inspectors, for their to make their both ends meet, for their children education, the medical expenses of their family members. They commit some petty corruption. Generally, e-governance is used to prevent such petty corruption, but it never touch the big fishes in the ocean. For the first time, by introducing e-governance initiatives at top echelon of governance, it created climate of organizational reform. Created a climate of organizational reform. Harnessing organizational energy and resources through organizational synthesis, synergy. Now we will discuss how e-governance affects organizational synergy by harnessing organizational energy. E-governance achieves organizational synergy through intra-organizational connectivity. Intra-organizational connectivity means the connection between the governmental organization, the way chief minister interacts with the district collectors and district SPs. This is how e-governance achieves organizational synergy by connecting state headquarters with district headquarters. This we have observed especially during corona pandemic time between government and citizens. Citizens, the government officials, political executives such as prime minister, his cabinet colleagues, the chief minister, his cabinet colleagues can directly interact with the beneficiaries, the citizens, the stakeholders. This is how e-governance provides the connection between the government and citizens. Government to business. When governmental works, tenders or e-auction, it facilitates better connection and interaction between government and business. Government and business. Government to employee connectivity, as we have discussed at the beginning of this session, how e-governance initiatives in pension organizations are giving, are yielding good results to the pensioners. Then government to government connectivity, the way central government gets connected with state governments get connected with panchayat institutions and municipalities. This also we have observed during corona pandemic time. Of course, in this regard, we should thank corona pandemic. It highlighted the significance and importance of e-governance initiatives. Hindrances, inadequacy of infrastructure, lack of funds. For instance, now we are having online classes for school children. We are facing this problem in interruption in internet connection, lack of infrastructure like lack of laptops or smartphones, iPhones, television sets. This is how one of the major stumbling block in e-governance is inadequacy and lack of funds, inadequacy of infrastructure and lack of funds for infrastructure, lack of adequate skills on the part of personnel like government teachers, government lecturers, even private teachers, private lecturers are lacking in online the skills that are required for online classes. Bureaucratic tendencies such as bureaucratic behavior, culture, rule orientation. Even if we tied अगर कुत्ते की वो even if you tie a stone to the tail of a dog, after removing the stone, what will happen? It goes back to previous position. In the same way, these e-governance techniques, citizen charter, all these things will function effectively only when we bring about reforms in bureaucratic behavior and culture. Bureaucratic behavior that in many sessions we have discussed. ई-गवर्नेंस की डेफिनेशन यही है ना, एप्लीकेशन ऑफ जी। ई-गवर्नेंस का डेफिनेशन ये है कि application of information and communication technology to governmental processes. That is the definition of e-governance. That's what I am saying, no, Atif Khanji. E-governance means application of information and communication technology to governmental processes. For instance, earlier, in order to issue passport, we had to go to passport office, we have to register physically. Now, by going to the portal of the passport office, you can book your online slot. This is what e-governance. Earlier, auctioning of government works, government tenders used to be done physically. What goes behind the doors, nobody knows. Now, these governmental works and governmental projects are auctioned by using e-governance techniques. This is what e-governance. Lack of political will. We need to have political will. The way union government e-auctioned coal mine blocks, do the state governments have guts and galls to allocate the major state government works and projects by using e-governance techniques? No. It is because lack of political will. Because political executive himself is interested in status quo. They may be having their own vested interests. Lack of political will is one of the major stumbling blocks in e-governance techniques. Poor data maintenance. Always we hear whenever a important case goes in any court of law, suddenly the files will disappear. There will be fire accident. They say that files are missing. Poor data maintenance. Lack of information and communication technology department. Most of the government ministries, departments, they do not have information and communication technology department. Information and communication technology department. Steps to be taken to improve efficacy of e-governance. What steps are to be taken to improve e-governance initiatives? Imparting adequate training to the government personnel. Imparting training to the personnel how to uh, handle the software, how to handle computers, the internet, how to use governmental portals, how to transact the governmental works on online platforms. The best example, training the government teachers how to teach the children in online classes, imparting adequate training, engagement of expert consult, the experts in software, the experts in hardware, they should be engaged at least on contract base, at least on contract base. Some when we go for e-governance initiative, when we use information and communication technology, we may tend to develop technical stacks. Invariably, we will develop technical. In order to address such technical snacks, we need to engage the expert, at least on contract basis. Facilitating adequate infrastructure, providing proper infrastructure such as computers, laptops, internet connection, etc. Bringing about attitudinal change among the bureaucrats. This is very, very important. Our bureaucracy is characterized by colonial hangover and feudalistic mentality. Unless and until this behavior of the bureaucracy is changed, all these measures, e-governance, right to information act, citizen charter, ombudsman institutions, etc., will remain mere facadistic initiative, facadistic measures. That's what famous political science and public administration professor Mohit Bhattacharya says. Unless and until we bring about changes in the attitude and behavior of the bureaucrats, all these initiatives will remain mere sadistic measures. E-governance techniques are to be used at the top echelons of the governance, like at union government level, at state government level, not just at lower rungs of administration, at peon level, at attender level, at clerical level, at the most superintendent level. No, they should be applied at the top echelons of the governance. Then only we will realize the true fruits of the real fruits of e-governance. E-governance should be used in an optimum manner in education. Yes, this should be achieved. We can address the problems of poor people, especially the rural poor, by using e-governance initiatives in education and health, in education and health sectors. Thank you, friends. Thanks a lot. Please subscribe to Unacademy YouTube channel. Share the videos, like the videos. Use my promo code to get 10% discount. If you have any doubts or you want to have some clarifications from me, you can contact me on my Telegram channel, that is Unacademy underscore Kiran Anishetti. Thanks a lot. See you in the next session.